what is AirDXB?
I set the business up, no one knew what it was. It hasn't been easy. This is by far the hardest real estate orientated segment I've ever been in because there are so many moving parts.
Yeah, as a real estate broker, if I'm offering you, I know that I'm giving the best possible service.
Natural instinct, or your head immediately goes to get a one bedroom because that's the best investment, etc., etc. It is, but
to put it into context, I'm going to no-brainer.
Thank you. Keep going. I like it.
Hi everyone, welcome to the first Emaar Beachfront Podcast. My name is Adam, Emaar Beachfront Community Expert. Today I'm joined by Greg, Mr. AirDXB himself.
Good morning.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you.
My first podcast.
I know, it's exciting. I've done a few of these. So
yeah, you're expert at this now.
Yeah.
We've literally just been talking for about half an hour and now I get on camera and I'm all frozen up. But
it's all right.
So, firstly, what is AirDXB for everyone that doesn't know?
AirDXB. So we are a short let or holiday home management company. So we just deal with everything that no one wants to deal with. So that's taking property, doing the photography, putting it online with sites such as Airbnb. We then interact with the guests, take the bookings, check them in. Any questions they have during their stay, we help them out, facilitate, whether they want additional linens, towels, all of this sort of stuff we can do for them, general guidance on the city, all these wonderful things. And then when they leave, our cleaning team will go in and prepare for the next guest, and then everything in between. So that can be from maintenance, right through to things like interior design, furnishing. We've done, I think we're up to 600 properties we furnished now in 3 years.
Wow.
So we know what we're doing
and
on that front.
Wrapping as well now.
Wrapping as well. Yeah, we've got wrapped by AirDXB.
So wrapping isn't me doing R&B wrap. Can you explain what a wrap is to the people that don't know? I can do a wrap if you want to do a wrap.
If you could do it, please. I mean, come on.
Welcome to the AirDXB.
Thank you. Keep going. I like it. So wrapped, it's a plastic vinyl, which is adhesive, get my words out, that we can put onto any surface. So majority of what we see is things like kitchens, bathroom tiles, doors, window frames. We also have flooring, which is a compacted type of, I won't get too technical into this, compacted type of plastic. So it's laminate, but we can put that down, but at a very, very, very good price, because for our clients, this is all about profitability. So what we don't want to do is overspend on the client's property. So when we talk about the interiors and furnishing, which we'll talk about later on, but then when we talk about things like the wrapping and the flooring, it's a great way of making a property look very new.
Yeah, transforming it, right?
And not a lot of money.
Because this is the thing in Dubai. I mean, obviously we're specifically talking about my baby, my area, Emaar Beachfront, but obviously AirDXB covers other areas in Dubai where the products aren't exactly, well, they're not new. You know, in Dubai, obviously there's been a lot of older buildings, maybe in downtown Marina where the wood is slightly older. Are we seeing that the clients, obviously you have an average of 94% occupancy rate. Yeah. Do you feel that it's because your units are looking modern? People are looking for that fresh, modern apartment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm constantly it's probably exaggeration. It comes up in conversation is, who's your main competitor? Is it hotels? Is it this? Is it this? I said it isn't really hotels because it's a different type of market. It's a different type of product. A hotel can offer certain facilities, can offer room service, all this sort of stuff. You obviously have on-site facilities at a 5-star level. Now, what is very interesting about the Dubai market is that when you look at property, it is quite similar, matching DNA. You have swimming pools, you have gyms, unlike the West, let's say. So when we have people that want to check into it, they want to feel and see something new, something modern, even though they're wanting to move away from that hotel style. Yeah. So from our perspective, yes, they do want something which is up together. So this is why we've tirelessly worked, and we're still rejigging how we present properties, the interior design, the wrapping that we're talking about. How can you make something look new without spending an awful lot of money, because the profitability, as I just said. When we look at Dubai, it's not old, and you've just said that. You know, you look at these older properties.
Yeah.
I do it. I mean, we all do
years,
it.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. Compare that to the West. You're talking about stuff from the 1960s that people are talking about dating. But yes, there's a lot of brown woods and things like that. We can lighten that up. But the market is competitive. When I set up AirDXB, which is coming up for 7 years ago, this coming September, 4,000 properties, give or take, for holiday homes, short lets. Now you're talking 25 to 30,000.
Wow, okay.
So the competition is fierce. So that means the product, the property, how you're then presenting that is huge. And something I say to my clients, if you ever heard the terminology, a picture speaks 1,000 words, what we do, a picture speaks 1,000,000 words. because a lot of our guests are looking at the photos. They're not necessarily reading the description. In fact, we have ways to know if they've read description or not.
Well, it's the thing, isn't it? People, you buy or you eat through your eyes, don't you? And then, of course, you've got the taste.
Correct.
So it's the same thing. It's catching them with that picture.
Exactly that. And so if they're only going to flick through the pictures, then how you're presenting that property needs to be correct. And yes, to answer your question, we have to make sure that these things are looking pretty new and pretty fresh.
Yeah. I did it myself. I went online Airbnb, going to London, which is, I've got to say, the prices in London, in comparison to Dubai, like a lot of people say, oh, Dubai is expensive, but to put it into context, I'm going for this 1-bed apartment in Pimlico. Yeah. No, not the best of areas, but it's okay, central.
It's a nice area.
Apartment's nice, nowhere near as modern as what Emaar Beachfront example is. Obviously, you don't get the beach, you don't get the views, you don't get the pools. Works out at 2,500, almost 2,000 dirhams a night for one bed. You know, it's crazy. So actually, when you compare, obviously, big cities like Dubai and London, it's you realise actually when you look at yourself how much money you get. You know, I think obviously living in these areas, we still get used to having the pools, having the beaches, but
correct.
It's it's
correct.
Crazy.
I mean, the price point is huge. You see London a lot. You see the density of hotels and distance between them is nothing compared to the city, but you can't compare. You really can't. I believe Dubai has the highest density of 5-star hotels. Not the highest density. This is within a certain radius. Of hotels. I think it's in Asia somewhere. I can't remember which city. Moving on, but that's the highest density of 5-star hotels. So the competition is fierce within the hotels themselves. And then when you start looking at the greater scale, then you start looking at short let senior holiday homes and things like that, then there's 25,000 units, as I've said. There's competition there. And so your price point will come in at quite a level for people to decide what they're going to do. And so you've got to make sure that your product is presented the right way and your price point is right. And if you look at things like Emaar Beachfront, there's a fair amount of properties there for sure.
Yeah, and this is the thing. The next question I'm going to ask is, why is there any concern that if everyone's going to have the same stance as putting on a short term, is there going to be an oversaturation of product?
Is there an oversaturation now? No. We're running at 94% occupancy. Dubai is the most visited city on the planet. Here now today, on the 22nd of May, we're running at a 94.1% occupancy, which is mad because this is now low season. Yeah. So,
and this is the thing, is a lot of companies are and this is why I think AirDXB is obviously got the proof, because most companies are saying, okay, we're basing on 85% occupancy. This is the dream, what you will get if you were to list your property with us, as in put it on a short term. But then when they get the statements, a lot of the time they're getting 70%.
Correct. And we see it because we have people coming to us saying, this is what I was told, this is what I'm getting, what we're doing wrong. We said, right, here's 6, 7, 8, 9 points that you're doing wrong. Right. Okay. We can get it right by doing this. Trial and error, especially for me, for 6 years of doing this over and over and over and over and over.
Not your first rodeo.
Not first rodeo. And through very difficult times, when I set the business up, it hasn't been easy. When I set the business up, no one knew what it was. So trying to tell a homeowner, don't go into long term and take a check up front, come and do this. Then we went straight into COVID. So we're in a city that functions off travel and hospitality.
No one's
coming in. And then we had a year of breathing space. And of course, long-term rents have now gone up, which homeowners are now seeing the pull towards that. So to answer your question, is it saturated? No, because not only have you got the city and the pull that it has for tourism in general, but because long-term rents are now going up, you're seeing homeowners move over to that.
Switch,
So you could find this as survival of the fittest, because there are several big companies in Dubai that all jumped into this short-let bandwagon after COVID. They've all given up.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to manage. And I know several people that have actually been a broker, wanted to do short-term, as in manage the company. But actually, the idiosyncrasies, as I call it, and the detail that you have to do, check-ins, check-outs, everything, it was too much work. So I think it's a bit like the duck scenario underneath the water. You know, the legs are going like mental, but on the top,
you're looking cool.
Yeah,
we're trying to look cool.
Yeah,
I can't tell you enough. And I've been in real estate now since 2000. I was a real estate broker. I still am advising clients. I've done commercial. I specialize in prime, all this sort of stuff. This is by far the hardest real estate orientated segment I've ever been in, because there are so many moving parts. Yeah. You've got companies within companies. I mean, our cleaning team is 60-70. Our maintenance is 30-40.
Right? And you have heads of, don't you? Because I remember Leanne at one point and you guys were recruiting.
This is it. So the interiors division's 15 or 20. Wow. Our guest relations team alone is 12 guest relations. So when you actually look at this, and they're all doing yes, of course, it all marries together, but they're all very different jobs, very different situations.
It's unique businesses within one umbrella.
Correct. So, I mean, it pushes you. And then to add to that, we have over 100,000 guests come through our properties a year now.
Wow.
100,000. So you've got all those different temperaments. Expectations, all this sort of stuff. So you're really, really, really having to push. And it's hospitality. It's 24/7. So, everyone talks about New Year's and all these wonderful times. That's when people are taking time off. We're not. That's when we're working.
Yeah.
And very, very hard. So
time off.
What is time
There's
off?
no time off.
There's no time off. So it's an.
To be fair, I've got to say, like, Greg, you love a holiday. But I've got to say, constantly working non-stop, always available.
Always have to be. I haven't had a holiday. What is a holiday?
Oh, joy. Abroad.
I'm working while abroad.
Yes.
That's the code. But I haven't taken a day off. Even on my wedding morning, I worked 4 hours in the morning.
Yeah, Leanne's.
On the day of my yeah. So it's a relentless business that requires a relentless amount of attention. And so when you look at what we have to do, and as I said, the proof is there. You've seen companies enter into this segment and go, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, too much.
I'm out. I think Strada as well. Strada are sticking to their guns and perform incredibly well as brokers, but Strada and AirDXB work together, and they've said, well, you can deal with the short let side of us because we want to stay focused, which is absolutely right.
And I'm a firm believer of having experts within their fields is rather than trying to do something substandard, and this is why we partner with AirDXB, is experts within their field. Yeah. You've got that perfect formula working. So actually, let's not try to recreate it. Let's just work with the people that are experts within that field.
Exactly.
Because actually, by doing so, as a real estate broker, if I'm offering you, I know that I'm giving the best possible service because I'm saying use AirDXB.
Exactly that. And you're not being pulled to one side and someone saying that I'm missing a towel.
Yeah.
Which will take 4 hours out of your day.
Yeah.
So just AirDXB, get on with it. Make sure you deliver for the client at those returns. And then that client will come back and buy more.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the plan, isn't it?
So when you look at, let's talk about EBF specifically. When a lot of my clients, investors, want to enter the Emaar Beachfront market, saying, Adam, which one would you advise in terms of short term is better? Obviously, I could give you the answer because I kind of know, but automatically, obviously, on Emaar Beachfront, you've got one beds right through to penthouses and townhouses. So from your experience, if an investor's looking at this, what would you suggest that they would purchase?
Untapped market right up till about a year ago was 2-bedroom plus.
Yeah.
Reason why? Natural instinct, or your head immediately goes to get a 1-bedroom because that's the best investment, etc., etc. It is, but you have a lot of competition. Studios are your cheap entry point. I'm just talking generally. I know there aren't any on Emaar Beachfront, are there?
No.
The problem is when you go into low season, prices drop, but people's disposable income doesn't. So they're like, I don't want a studio. I can afford a 1-bed. But families is a huge one that's coming to Dubai. Dubai has changed as a city, a lot more family friendly. Families love a short let property, kitchen facilities, a large space with a TV. The kids can go in that direction. You can go in the opposite.
Can go to sleep. You can go. Yeah.
Correct. If you look at hotel rooms, you have 3 separate rooms. Here, you're all within 4 walls. If you see what I mean. So it was an untapped market. Was 2-bedroom plus because these families were coming and they're saying, well, where's the stock? And Emaar Beachfront, we've got several 2-3 beds on there doing incredibly well. Yeah. And of course, as we know, Emaar Beachfront, you've got the private beaches, so family friendly. That I would always push anyone towards. And when we look at Emaar Beachfront, because of things like the beach, it is attracting that family. I would say go into that market. Still now, it's not as desperate as it was before because there wasn't much of it because everyone just focused on the ones in studios. More has come into the market, but not by any means enough to deal with the level of demand. So I would say go for 2 bedrooms plus because you're then appealing to the family. And also, just as we said, when you go into low season, people's disposable income stays high, but rates drop.
But you still get the beds.
And the amount of people we have now saying, I'm coming in for a month because we see a lot of long-term bookings of low season. Yeah. We want more square footage.
Well, interesting you said that. So what the next question was going to be, I think, a lot of what I say to a lot of my clients is when we say short term, I think people think of back in the day when it was a weekend.
Yeah.
But what I explain to a lot of my clients when I'm doing a viewing or looking at kind of investment portfolio is short term is opens up to a lot of expats. Obviously, Dubai, we're getting a lot of people, whether it's digital nomads, as I call them, crypto guys. Now, they obviously wouldn't want to get a residency or wouldn't want to get a long-term tenancy. You can't get a tenancy without getting a visa. So what I'm seeing, especially on EBF, Emaar Beachfront, is people moving to Dubai for 6 months, then going out. So digital nomads, my friends go to Bali, then they go here. short term, as we call it, is the only solution for them, because they don't want to stay in a hotel, because actually who wants to stay in a hotel for 6 months? So that's the only solution. So are you seeing, obviously what you said before about the longer bookings, longer stay? I think when people think of short term, because I don't call it a holiday homes, because for me,
I don't.
Then we automatically think a holiday and therefore a week.
It's holiday makers.
Yes.
I've seen it in this city as well. You got 130, 140 different nationalities in Dubai. People's interpretation is different. Stick to short term, because short term covers everything. So short term to us, we've made this up. I'm not saying this is how it is, but this is how AirDXB looks at it. Short term is anything up to 30 days. Mid-term is then 30 days up to pretty much 364 days. Because when you hit 365,
it's then long
term, and you come under DLD. So Dubai Land Department, where we operate under the DTCM, Dubai Tourism Commerce Marketing. So it depends on the year. Now, for us, obviously, and this is an obvious statement, so when you talk about school holidays, New Year's Eve, things like that, you have your shorter stays, so your 5 days, 7 days, etc. And then when we come to summer, they go longer. But the stats are, in high season, 6 days is the average stay for us. And for low season, the average stay is 17.
Wow.
So just increases out.
Yeah.
So you are absolutely right in what you're saying. And I think also the change that Dubai has seen with respect to everyone wanting to live here, there's a lot of people coming in, where shall I live? So I'll take this place as a stopgap to work out, do I want to be here or here? Short let is just offering so much flexibility. That's the key word here. And it goes back to what you're saying with your clients for Emaar Beachfront. They're going to shoot off to another country. A hotel room is going to be too small for the duration of the trip. It fits very well.
It's perfect.
And that's why you've got to get the furnishing right.
And this is the thing, isn't it? It's all about a product, because a lot of my clients, it's the same for when clients want to sell their property. They come to me and say it's not selling, but actually the first thing I would do is obviously inspect the property. 9 times out of 10, it's furnished, but to a maybe not a standard that everyone would expect, or there's lots of personal touches. And I think this is where a lot of people go wrong. And this is why I think Leanne was saying that of your properties which you have, which then are furnished, then if a client wants to resell, I think she said there was a stat that said that they've sold for higher than maybe the rest of the market because they're furnished so well.
Yeah, and when we rent them,
yes,
our figures are you'll get 31% more return if we furnish it versus an owner.
Yeah.
All right. When you come around to selling it, the beauty of it is you're effectively staging the property. And then when the next buyer comes in, whether he gets rid of the furniture, brings his own in, lives with it, whatever he wants to do, but you're presenting, this is a broker, you're presenting the property in its best possible form. You're showing where the beds can go, where the TVs can go.
Well, you're just taking the thinking out of it, aren't you? Because this is the thing is,
correct.
Emaar Beachfront especially, ceiling's super high, room dimensions are what you'd expect from a new build, but it's like anything else. Until it's furnished, people actually can't picture it.
Correct.
So when you guys go in and furnish it exactly as what they might, because if they're looking for investment, actually it's even better, because if you guys have gone in, done the hard work, as a second buyer, if they want to purchase it, it's done. And of course the contract that you would already got in place, you could just roll on. So it's
and that works. One of our investors walked into an unfurnished and a furnished, and he went for the furnished. It was furnished by us. And he said, I'll just go for that because look at it.
It's a one-stop shop, isn't it?
It's a one-stop shop. Get on with it. And if this market is going to get more competitive, if prices have hit, as we were just chatting about, hit the ceiling, expectations are too high for where the market is, you've got to show that property in the best possible light. Showing a well-furnished property versus an empty one with cockroaches in the corner with no AC on.
The standards need to change, and I've been saying this to a lot of people, is the prices are the prices. We know that obviously the prices have seen a substantial increase, rightly so. I think back in the day that the prices didn't make sense. But I think, no longer can people expect to get the same results, like you said, by not actually staging your property or making it look premium, because for me, it downgrades the property.
Let me ask you a question. I know it's your podcast. Has the market temperament changed, let's say, in the last year or two? Are people being, because I saw deals going through, people weren't even viewing it, I'll buy that, I'll jump on that bandwagon and go. Here now today, are people being more cautious? Yeah,
so I think obviously the market has changed substantially compared to the beginning of 2022. Example, we all know what happened back then. And people, their expectations are higher, I think. I think they're happy to pay the prices which people are asking in some places, because if they feel they're getting, especially on Emaar Beachfront, the private beaches, the restaurants on your doorstep, the upcoming mall, the location to everything, people want to be there. It's one of the most desirable places to live. But yes, people, because there are options in Dubai to choose from, we can't just rely on the amenities. The property itself, as you mentioned, has to be presented in the best possible light and best possible way. So people just have more time to choose.
Yeah.
And I think if you can present it, as we mentioned, in the best possible light, make it perfect, then of course naturally they're going to be aiming towards yours. But versus one next door that may be,
and of course for you for marketing. So from taking the photos, putting it online, well presented, versus
that's the first thing, isn't it? Yeah. I say real estate, and I suppose it's similar to ours. It's back in like a retail. It's a store, isn't it? You present your windows, which is the pictures on your portals, the best possible light.
Exactly.
As soon as you get them in, that's your main job done, isn't it?
Yeah, agreed. No, absolutely.
So, lastly, but by no means least, looking into the camera, Gregory, or Greg, sorry. There are a lot of holiday homes available, or to choose from. Why should a client choose AirDXB?
Oh, many reasons. But I'll give you 3 of the USPs that we offer. So the homeowners get paid directly by the booking platform.
Okay.
So a lot of the companies, well, every company I've ever come across globally, they'll take the full booking amount, and then they'll send a summary and the money to the owner at the end of the month, whenever that may be, on time, not on time.
Yeah.
Our owners get their money, their net money, within 48 business hours, so 2 working days from the guest check-in.
Wow.
So have a consistent cash flow.
Okay, so actually getting it throughout the entire year.
No, for each guest check-in. So if they check in for 3 days or they check in for 2 months, when that guest checks in on their second working day that guest is in, the money is sent directly into our client's account. So we don't touch clients' money. It's directly into their account. Our fee is taken from that, so portioned, and this is all done through the wonderful world of tech, and that comes straight to us. So owners get paid directly, and they get paid quickly. They don't have to wait for their money. Second point is only a 30-day notice. We've got nothing to hide. Market temperatures change, of course, with long-term people are shifting over to that way. But right up till about 5 years ago, we'd lost 6 properties in 5 years. Over 5 years, so right up to about 2 years ago, beg your pardon. We lost 6 properties, that is it. So I pulled back this notice period to only 30 days. Majority of competition is 60 to 90. So that's a very big USP that we have.
So when you say 30 days, if someone wants to pull out the contract or to sell the property or to take it
exactly that. And we're in this market now where people are selling, and this is the beauty of short let. You put a long-term tenant in, as you know, you've got all the different notice periods and stuck and all the rest of it. With short term, it's effectively a chain-free property.
Yeah.
And we're working with clients at the moment where we only open up the calendar for the next 30 days. Because they're trying to sell it. And then once they get the buyer in, 30-day notice, walk away. You know, we work with people. We've got nothing to hide. Big one for us is we are a 94% occupancy agency. We've been doing this now coming for 7 years, as I've said. We've never gone below that over the period of a year. So we are an agency that performs relentlessly, consistently. I'm very much a man of less is more, keep it simple, 2, 3, 4 steps. Don't over analyze, don't do this, don't do that. And that's how we've managed to retain such a high occupancy level. So when you look at owners getting paid directly, flexibility to come in and out, and also a performing agent that's delivering at high occupancy, that's why you choose AirDXB.
No brainer. There you go, everyone. You heard it from the man himself. Well, thank you much. Thank you for joining me on my first podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you for being easy on me.
You did really well.
Thank you very much for watching. Click like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. Bye, guys.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.